Am I the a-hole? For refusing to pay for my wife's emergency girls trip, then learning the truth? I'm a 36M married to my wife, 34F, and we've been together for 8 years. Things haven't always been perfect, but I've always tried to be supportive, especially when it comes to her mental health. About 2 weeks ago she came home crying, saying she felt overwhelmed, burnt out, and desperate for a break. She said her friends were planning a last-minute girls trip to reset, and she really needed to go. I told her of course, take the time, take my card, just make sure she feels better. I even rearranged my own work schedule to take care of our son alone for the weekend. I wasn't thrilled about it, but I figured if it helped her, then fine. The night before she left, she seemed jittery, excited in a way that didn't match the defeated person who had been crying in my arms. She kept checking her phone and instantly locking the screen. Still, I didn't think much of it. People act weird before trips. The next morning, while loading her suitcase into the car, her phone lit up with a notification from her group chat. The preview showed, "Can't believe he bought that story. See you soon." I froze. It didn't sound like friends talking about a mental health weekend. It sounded like something else. I told myself not to jump to conclusions. But when I shut her trunk, the phone lit up again, a full message this time, from a contact saved under initials I didn't recognize. "Got the hotel. Can't wait to have you to myself." My stomach dropped. I shouldn't have, but I opened the thread. It wasn't girls anything. It was a trip to meet her ex, the one she swore she hadn't spoken to in years. They had planned everything weeks ago. The crying? The mental health crisis? The urgency? All of it was a performance so I would fund her vacation reunion. They joked about me paying. They joked about how easy I was. They joked about how she'd need the reset after spending a weekend getting destroyed. I felt sick. My hands were shaking. She walked out of the house smiling and asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, kissed her on the forehead, and watched her get into the rideshare. I didn't confront her on the spot. I wanted to think. I went inside, locked the door, sat at the kitchen table, and stared at the credit card she took. Then I opened the banking app and froze the card. Within 30 minutes she started blowing up my phone. First, "Hey babe, the hotel says the card declined." Then, "Is there something wrong with the account?" Then, "Why aren't you answering?" Then anger, "Are you being serious? I need this trip. Why would you shut off the card?" I didn't respond. 2 hours later she called from her friend's phone screaming that I was controlling and trying to trap her. I stayed calm and just said, "If it's a girls' trip, your friends can pay for you." She hung up. An hour later, she texted a wall of excuses. Everything from "it's not what it looks like" to "he's just a friend" to "we were going to talk about closure" to "my friends were going to" "you're overreacting." I told her I had screenshots. She went silent. She came home the next morning furious and embarrassed because her friends refused to cover for her once the truth came out. She said I was cruel for leaving her stranded, that I humiliated her by freezing the card, that I could have just talked to her. I told her cheating isn't a conversation. It's a choice she fully planned, lied about, and expected me to pay for. Now her family is calling me controlling for financially punishing her and putting her in danger by cutting access to money. They're ignoring the part where she deceived me, mocked me, and tried to use household money to meet her ex. My friends say she's lucky all I canceled was the card, not the marriage. The house is tense. She keeps saying, "You ruined everything," but all I did was uncover what she was willing to do behind my back. I haven't decided what comes next, therapy, separation, or divorce, but I do know one thing: I'm not paying for her affair. So tell me, am I the asshole for refusing to fund her girls' trip once I learned it wasn't a girls' trip at all?